Okay, let's get into episode 3, Ready to Love. I think that they got it right. So far, they're doing good. Will had to go because he just could not seem to connect with anybody. And he had 2 chances and got the same result. So, you know what I'm saying? Just go ahead and roll out. And then we got Wayne. Now, I feel like they got it right on Wayne because in all the conversations they showed us with Wayne, Wayne was talking about how, he is not forgetful, but he kind of gets into his own world, his own bubble, and like he could be in a relationship and not talk to the person for 5 to 7 days. And then he gets upset because it feels like an obligation at that point. But it's like, dude, then you really didn't want a relationship, because if the relationship is an irritant, what are you doing? You know what I mean? So he just didn't know what he wanted, because you're on a dating show. You're going to have to communicate with people. He got a bunch of people's numbers and did not call them. And there's somebody else who did that too. But the main thing that I think about in that situation is, if a dude asks me for my number and he don't use it, I mean, there's my answer, right? I mean, that's just how I think, right? He asked for it. Wasn't he going to use it? And if I did so happen to be like, all right, let me send a text just to say, hey, got you locked in, or hey, how you doing, or whatever, and he don't respond, okay, it's over with. We can't have a conversation with just me. So, the whole confronting people about not calling you, in this situation, they have to see each other. So, okay, the question could come up once. But to keep having multiple conversations about you didn't call me, you didn't call me, you didn't call me, is kind of saying that there was a reason why I didn't call you. And if I was interested, what could have kept me from calling, right? So anyway, that's just how I look at it. You don't call, you don't want. But anyway, so we know Coley got another chance this week, and she did her thing. Okay, all the singles met this week. So, in saying that, before we get into the episode, y'all know I like to go and do a little outside viewage of other stuff, and I just want to talk about Cisco and Hussein, okay? Because I told y'all about the Toxic Perspective podcast that Cisco and Cam have on YouTube. And this last episode they had on there, Hussein was on that episode, right? And Hussein actually has a business. It's called Love Accordingly. Cisco had the shirt on before, and he was trying to explain how it's spelled because it's spelled a little weird. It's just accordingly minus one C and no vowels, okay? Um, and if you watch the podcast, Hussein will explain why he picked it like that. But I had a chance to check out the website because I wanted to see this merch. Because, he's a visual media artist, or I can't remember what the exact title was. But you saw when he was talking to, I think it was Rose, they kind of vibed on like interior design and stuff like that. So I checked it out, and there was a couple nice little pieces that he got, because his art is on a lot of the shirts, okay? So if y'all are interested in that, check it out. Y'all know I like to promote any kind of businesses that the cast come out with, because I feel like they should come on there with something for us to push, okay? We are hoping for some couples this season, but I also want to give the Black businesses some exposure. So check out Hussein's website. You can find it through his Instagram, and it's loveaccordingly.com, spelled just like it is on this picture. Okay. All right. So before I get into the episode, I just want to point out some of the things that I saw in the episode that we might care about. Okay. One of the first things that I want to say is that when I talked about the Toxic Perspective podcast, I said that, yeah, why would you pick a name like Toxic Perspective, right? But I went back and looked after the second episode, and they do have a breakdown on their About section where they explain what toxic stands for, okay? The T, the O, the X, the I, and the C. That's like that felt like a song. But anyway, so what it stands for, hold on, let me get to the page. Jesus. Okay. So it stands for transformation. O for opportunity. Excellence is the X. Integrity is the I. And connection is the C. So Check them out. It's actually a really interesting podcast. Okay, like I said, I like the sister on there that they got with them. She keeps them straight. So check that out. But anyway, they had a conversation about like, what makes a woman a good woman. Now there was a portion in the podcast where they talked about if they would have sex with a woman in a dirty house, right? Hussein was like, absolutely not. Cam was like, absolutely not. And I think the consensus was Cisco will have sex anywhere, dirty house or not. Okay, he's getting the draws. That's what I that's what I kind of took from it. So anyway, that's that. Um we also learned that he doesn't wear drawers. And Cam is a Libra. Okay. So anyway, let's jump into this episode because the two groups meet. Okay. And I did look back at the last episode when I was talking about Shanice's gloves, and she did remove them at a point, but it was just like, okay, if it was so hot, why were you wearing them long ass gloves? But in this episode, we also we see that she likes to be risky with her outfits because she came dressed in like the skin. I don't know, when she went skating, everything was just on display. Okay, um, and at a certain age, that is kind of like not accepted well by a lot of people. The men, I don't know how men think. Like I would think, right, that they would be like, well, I don't want everybody seeing what's supposed to be for me. But, some men are cool with it, some men are not. But y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments, okay? So the singles meet, they bring out the 11 from heaven. Okay, and I have to say they do have some good looking cast members this year. All right, it's a lot of good looking people. Honestly, I think this is a good cast. I think this is a good cast. But then like I said, we see that Wayne didn't call Angie, and then Coley remembers that he didn't call her either. All right. And so Tommy tells them that he wants them to focus on dating with a purpose, and the women have the power this week. Okay, so I will say Eddie and Coley, they do look good together. That is true. They do look good together. And she opened up this week. She opened up. She told us about her brother that passed, and she when she was out on a date with Angie and Wayne, and Eddie, she let them know that was his birthday. So she kind of got emotional on that. But like looking at the couples that clicked this episode, looks like Eddie and Coley, like I said, they clicked. Cisco and Deanna clicked a little bit. Tay and Cisco clicked a little bit. A little bit more, I guess. What else? Who else did I think that they Rocky and Fitz and Tay, I'm sorry, Rocky and Fritz and Tay and Khalil clicked a little bit too. Um, so yeah, so we get to see them mingling within the two groups, and Cam. They showed a part about Cam talking about what he thinks of marriage, and he's saying that marriage isn't the goal, but happiness is. So it's that right there on a dating show. Like a lot of the women are looking to be married. So Cam might be in trouble if he doesn't open up, you know what I mean? But Sahara and Hussein also clicked a little bit too. She likes him. And then they show Deanna and Cam talking now. In episode 1, Deanna already said that she don't date other firefighters. Before she even knew it was going to be another firefighter on the show, she said she does not do that. So I already knew that wasn't going to work. But when they did talk, she sunned the shit out of Cam. All right, she sunned the shit out of him. She basically was just running down her credentials in like a real smooth kind of way. Like, all right, yeah, that's not gonna work, right? Yeah, and then you short, so get up out of here. Basically, that's what she said, and he walked away like, well, dang, okay. So it's a no. All right. She even mentioned something about his height. I think he said he was 5'10" on a good day, which means he's probably like 5'8" or 5'9", because they be lying. Anyway, so then I saw a commercial for the Never Ever Mets. That's coming back for another season, which the first season was drama filled, right? And it was the first season. So we're going to see what this next season brings. Because I'm like, with all the years that catfishes run and all that, people are still out here dating and not seeing each other. That's crazy. What are y'all doing? So they have a group date. The group date consists of Kiara, Naeem, Jay, Shanice, and True. All right. True confronted Naeem about not calling her. And like I said, if I gotta come to you and ask why you didn't call me, I just gotta think that you did not want to call me. And then in this situation, they probably was like, well, I don't want to give this group so much attention before I meet the other batch. I'm pretty sure that that's how Naeem ass was thinking. Um, but then he started talking about the fact that when he texted her, she had green bubbles, but he looked at her phone and he said, she got an iPhone. What, I got the text now number, whatever. It really don't matter what number you got. Did you call it to see if it reached her? Like, that's the question right there. Like, I'm not asking him, but for him to bring up the green bubble, it's like, dude, did you even use the number? You judging her over whether she gave you a number directly to her iPhone is crazy, okay? But again, if he did not respond, that means something. No response is a response, all right? No response is a response. I messed that up. So Shanice says Hussein is one of her top connections. Hussein kind of came in here and got a couple connections, okay? Jay and Kiara click some more. She says she doesn't know what someone can do to come in between them. And when they show stuff like that, believe there's going to be something that comes in between them. Obviously, that's how it usually goes. But so then Angie sets up a double date. That double date with Coley, Wayne, and Eddie, and so that's what they talked about, him not calling her back. So then at the end of that date, Angie talked to Wayne about not calling her. I mean, what y'all think about that? Like, does it mean that he didn't like her or what? Like, what do y'all do in those situations? Like, what you do? What you do? Do you run the person down and be like, why you not calling me? Like I said, this situation is a little bit different because they have to see each other. So I do get that. But what are y'all gonna do? Then they have a group date, and they were doing pottery. You got Rocky, Tay, Cam, and Khalil. Rose and Fritz was there. And that's where Khalil and Tay got to spend a little more time together. And it looks like they click, okay? Tay did not seem to be feeling Cam like that. So then we get to the ladies' lounge. The ladies' lounge, Rose and Rocky like Fritz. Kiara, obviously, she like Jay. But then she was like, he got her some gas, followed us to the gas station and filled her tank up. And I'm like, girl, you ain't got no gas. You can't get, what? Okay, maybe he just offered. That's a nice gesture. I'm not hating on the gas thing or whatever, but I don't know if I would have said that on TV, but that's just me. But I guess she wanted to tell the other ladies, look, girl, he already paying for my gas, okay? So, but shouts out to her or whatever. So then Sahara likes Hussein, so does Shanice. And Shanice shares a story about how she was broke twice and homeless. She gets pretty emotional. But then the people that they don't like, Rocky says she don't like Eddie. He gives fuckboy. She actually said that to him, which I was like, that's kind of like a whore. You know what I'm saying? That's like kind of like the same thing that True did, but he didn't take offense to it like Jay did. So anyway, Rose wasn't really feeling Wayne. Angie also said Wayne told them about how he didn't call, and Coley said the same thing, and all the women seemed to agree about him. All right. So then later on, Naeem had a point where he must have told True that he's her number one, but he still doesn't text. So she is not feeling that. Kiara said Cisco, she wasn't feeling Cisco. Deanna obviously wasn't feeling Cam. Shanice wasn't feeling Cam. Tay wasn't feeling Cam. Angie wasn't feeling Cam. Cam is looking bad out in these streets right now. The women have the power this week. So Tay goes out with Cam and Deanna goes out with Wayne. All right. So it ends up that Wayne goes home. And he said he frequently does not communicate in dating. He just goes about his life. Yeah, he needs to go home and just go about his life. You know what I'm saying? Because he said he wouldn't do anything different. So it's like, what? Why are you here? Did they call him to be on the show, or did he apply to be on the show? Because that matters as well. Okay, so here's my graphic that I'm going to show every week, so we can keep track of who left, who might be possible couples, and who the Red Flag of the Week award goes to. Okay, this week we got 2 people down there, as y'all can see. All right. So obviously Wayne left. Then the couples, I don't have all the possible couples because you see the space is like kind of small. I got to figure out how I'm gonna. Maybe I'll just use their faces next time. But anyway, the point is, who else do you see as possible couples at this point? We only in week 3, and we know how Ready to Love do. It be looking so good in the beginning, and then 3 more episodes, it's turned a whole 180. Okay, so get in the comments below and let me know what your thoughts are so far. All right, so then we have the Red Flag of the Week award, and I gave it to Wayne for obvious reasons, right? If you're not interested in somebody, why even pretend like you're gonna call them? I would just say no, I'm not giving you my number. Like the first thing I think about when I meet somebody and they ask me for my number, I literally think to myself, do I want this person interrupting my life? Right? Whatever it is that I might be doing. And if I could just picture myself being irritated when their call comes through or whatever, I just tell them, no, I'm not giving you my number. No, thank you. You know what I'm saying? And I just don't understand exchanging numbers if you know you're not going to talk to the person. That's wild. And why were you there? It's a dating show. What were you doing? Like, what were you doing? I just don't know. So Wayne is definitely a candidate for the Red Flag Award of the Week. All right. And then I have Cisco right there. Now, if you listen to the beginning of this podcast, you not podcast, this video. If you listen to the beginning of this video, you heard me talk about their podcast, right? Cisco and Cam's podcast, and what they talked about the last episode and what I got from it. All right, so he gets the Red Flag of the Week award because he fucks in dirty houses, allegedly. All right, I listen. Go watch the episode and check it out. But that's why he's on the Red Flag of the Week award for this week. Get in the comments below. Let me know your thoughts. And I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.